Hey guys, it's Richard at altFINS. I've got a recap of some trading ideas I wanted to share with you. First of all, also wanted to remind you that as an altFINS token holder or hodler, you can get access to our platform for free. Check out the pricing page that we have. This is a relatively new offer that we have for the platform users. So let's take a look at some interesting situations that I discovered today on the platform under the Curated Charts. In fact, let's go there. But overall, if we look at the market, certainly we are still in a downtrend, okay? And let's be mindful of that, we may be seeing a rebound, a modest rebound here. If we look at Bitcoin, what's impressive about Bitcoin that I like to see is that it dipped under 20,000, which is really critical support or critical level overall, because that's the all-time high as of 2017 and 2020 sort of rally. And so what was an all-time high resistance in the past had become a support level. So I want to see that hold. And it's been tested a couple of times, and Bitcoin has held up, and similarly Ethereum as well. But overall, they're both still in a downtrend, and overall the market is still in a downtrend with a few exceptions. So let's be mindful that typically we want to trade with the trend and not against the trend. So today's trade ideas may be counter to that, meaning that they are relatively more risky because there'll be opportunities to buy and not sell. Again, these typically are a little more risky swing trades, but let's take a look at a few of them. So when I go to under the Curated Chart section, the few names that today jumped out at me, first of all was let's see, I believe DOGE, which appears to be breaking out or almost at a verge of bullishly breaking out of a channel down pattern. As you can see, there's been clearly a downtrend, although more recently there's been a change in the short-term trend from down to neutral. So some positive signs of potential trend reversal, at least near-term trend improvement, and we see that the price is about to break above the 7 cent resistance, horizontal resistance, as we have outlined in the Curated Chart here, which also coincides with the channel resistance trend line. So breaking out of that above the 7 cent level would be a pretty bullish sign for DOGE, and it could go higher after that to maybe 10 cents. So I would perhaps set up an alert on it by going to alerts and say, alert me when the price is above 10 cents. Simple as that. And let's move on to the next. The next on my list was Rose, Oasis network. And here what I saw was the fact that the price has been kind of basing or creating a very solid and consolidating around, very solid base and consolidating around the 5 cent level really for the last 2.5 months, and with big volume. So a lot of the coins, a lot of volume has exchanged hands here. A lot of new buyers have stepped up here. Sellers are getting exhausted perhaps, and so there are fewer and fewer sellers, I think, at these levels, and we could be creating a solid base for a move up. Nothing to get excited about in terms of the price movement yet, but I like what I see in terms of really holding the 5 cent level support zone, through the thick and thin of it in the last 2 months. If you think about what happened to the market in June, really, both Ethereum and Bitcoin were down 30-40%, and this name just held up steadily. So clearly the sellers have been exhausted more or less, and that really creates a potential solid footing for a bullish move. So that could be, potential buy right here with some anticipation of potential positive move higher. And again, these are just my opinions, not indications or financial advice. But another one that I thought looks interesting was Sand or Sandbox, which is a metaverse name, right? Once upon a time, a very hot name when the metaverse theme was really hot. But what we do see here is a bullish breakout of a giant falling wedge pattern. Falling wedge patterns, typically when they do break out bullishly, can indicate a trend reversal. So we've seen a nice bullish breakout. And so I think here price could approach $1.50, which is another maybe 15 or so % upside. Then we hit some really stiff resistance zone around $1.50 where the price has gotten rejected in the past several times. So I would probably pare back on my position as we get closer to that $1.50 resistance zone. But I think overall though, this could be a beginning of a trend reversal. In fact, as you can see on our short-term basis, our trend rating has already, I'm sorry, this is not what I wanted to look at. I want to look at rows. On the short-term basis, the trend, if we go to the live chart, the trend here has actually already, not rows, my bad. We were on sand, the sandbox. The short-term trend has already crossed over from down to up. As you can see, we have our own proprietary trend ratings, and on the short-term basis, this one is already reversed. So we could see some additional upside from here. Another one that I wanted to mention was Chainlink, and Chainlink is actually on the verge of breaking out of a massive falling wedge. So similarly to what happened to the sandbox, Chainlink is also showing some signs of life. Overall, still in a downtrend, and still we haven't broken out of the falling wedge. So it's still an emerging pattern, not a completed pattern. Completed meaning it's completed when the breakout happens. And so keep an eye on this one. If we do break out, we're very likely to move up to the $8 level and maybe slightly higher, maybe even to $10, which is kind of the last sort of upswing high right here. So keep an eye on it, because breakouts, bullish breakouts from falling wedge are typically very bullish in that they do have some follow-up strength. So this is sort of a watch list. I would say the breakout probably happens around $7. We're very close to that. Right now it's $6.63 or so. So let's put the alert at $7 level. Alert me when the price crosses above 7. That would indicate a bullish breakout from the falling wedge. And then the last one I'll mention is MATIC or Polygon. And what I see here is really the fact that the price has bounced from the 30 cent support area to now above the 50 cent level. So, and it made a higher low. It's been in a downtrend, and we're still not out of the woods by any means, but there are some indications of potential short-term trend reversal, in that we were in a series of lower lows and lower highs, but just most recently, the price made a higher low. It swung down, but then it started to turn around again just at that 50 cent support level. And so that also RSI is in the bullish zone, meaning above the 50, which is typically a bullish sign. MACD is still bullish. And so to me, this has some signs of potential swing up to maybe near the 75 or maybe 77th level. So that could be a swing trade. Again, still in a downtrend overall, so still a relatively risky trade because it is against the overall trend. But you know, with a small position and a tight stop loss limit, I think it's a decent risk reward return. And I also wanted to go to the dashboard and look at some recent momentum, bullish momentum changes. So let's go ahead and go to the dashboard. And first of all, you can still find some coins that are in a strong uptrend. You can check those out. You can find some coins that have had a recent upgrade to their short-term trend. Shiba is on one of them. Synthetics is another one that's been really acting well. We can come back to that in a minute. But I also wanted to check out Helium. Helium is acting really nice recently, and it's had an early bullish momentum inflection. What does that mean? Let's take a look. So I click on see more. It takes me to the screen of results when you can see all the coins that satisfy this criteria. And what we mean by that is that in Helium's case specifically, if we open up the chart, I like the candlestick chart here. And also let's add MACD, which is a fantastic momentum and trend indicator. Okay, so what we see here is that the price overall, let's look at the big picture first. It's been on a downtrend, clearly lower lows, lower highs, but more recently it's starting to go sideways and maybe even starting to trend up slightly. Now, what I would point your attention to is the fact that, again, we just recently made a higher low, right? So the most recent upswing or downswing turned around at a higher level than the prior downswing. We still haven't made a higher high. We would need to go above 17 even. Or in this case, we would need to go, above $12 or so. But there's some signs of life here. We've got a clearly a stiff resistance around 1250. You can look at the curated chart here where we outline specifically where the next resistance zone is. As I mentioned, 1250, right? That's, as you can see, the price is bumped up against that level and gotten rejected. That's where the sellers step in and they're taking their profits and so on. So 1250 is where we see a lot of seller volume. But right now at $9.30, I think we're on our way to retest that 1250 with another upswing, right? And the reason it appeared on our screen, the early bullish momentum inflection, is because the MACD, although it's bearish, it's still a sell, but the MACD histogram, these blue bars, have inflected and they're starting to actually improve, starting to rise. And that's an early indication that the momentum in that price is improving. It's still early, still not a full out bullish momentum, which would be indicated by a buy flag, but it's already inflected and it's most likely to get into that buy zone. And so then from here, like I said, the next resistance zone is 1250. Near that level, I would probably close the trade. So if I entered here at 9:30 or so, I would exit just around $12, and I would set my stop losses around, keep it really tight, I would say, maybe even at $9 or so. Because overall it's still in a downtrend, and so these are sort of swing trades that we're trying to do here that are against the trend, and so we want to manage our risk, make these small positions overall. Don't bet the farm on any given trade. That's a rule number one in terms of risk management. And so keep the trades small, make a lot of them, but keep them small, and keep the stop losses tight. All right, guys, I hope this helps. Please join our Telegram group when you get a chance, where we share a lot of these tips and ideas with our community as well. Have a great day.